Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ariel and I make videos about books. So you may be wondering why I'm kind of dressed like a teacher and sitting in front of a trifold board as if I am a middle schooler preparing for her science fair. It's because I hate technology. I saw like a month ago, Jack Edwards did a video on a tournament, like a World Cup tournament for the best book of that year that he read, something along those lines, and he got it from some other booktuber that made that concept idea, and I loved it. And I already do that in my reading journal every year to see like what my favorite books were. So I was like, ooh, that would be fun to show you. And I went online and tried to look up different like tournament bracket creating sites, and none of them were really giving what I was imagining. And I tried to like make one on my own online and it just was not working. So I went to Staples and here we are. This is my book tournament board that I'm very proud of. This is going to be a series of different videos I make, I think like 3 of them, figuring out what my favorite book was from each genre that I read. So today we are starting with romance because 2020 was a year for romance for me. I consumed so much romance, specifically 48 books. I constantly just had my nose in a romance book. And I had never been a big romance reader, but I think just I found the right books that I like and I went from there. It's also like, I feel like romance is very comforting because you know you're not gonna be sad. It's gonna have a happy ending, and I don't know, you might have a little smutty scene that will make you blush and be like, ooh, fun. I became a fan of romance. I crossed the bridge of, you know, romance hater to romance lover, because everyone starts as a romance hater. Like, it's such an easy genre to hate on, but then as you start reading and you get the good books, then you can cross the bridge and go into romance love land. Anyway, without further ado, I'm gonna angle myself so that I can talk about my board and tell you my romance reads and figure out what the #1 from this year was. We'll start with this side of the trifold. So these first 20 that are up, they are mainly series or books that just like kind of go together. Venus, please. Do you like the Kiss Curse? That one has a cat in it, so it makes sense. Starting over here, we have, I already know these are not gonna make it far because they were my like least favorite reads of the year. Specifically romance, but like also just in general did not like them. And that is, ooh, The American Roommate Experiment, yuck, and The Spanish Love Deception. So between these two, I did like The American Roommate Experiment better. Still did not like it like very much, but it was definitely better than The Spanish Love Deception. I think the character was much more likable than Alina, so we're going to put her here. Then we have There Are No Saints and There Is No Devil. This was the first like dark romance read that I read, specifically like series, but yeah, I read this in like January, and it like really got me into reading romances because it was just so insane. It's about like a serial killer who only kills men, so like he's cool. And he like falls for this girl and like helps her and become an artist, and it's very strange. And there's this man trying to like kill her. I can't remember if that's in the first or second book, but they they have this whole thing, and it's very spicy, and you will somehow love the main guy character despite him being a serial killer. But between these two, I did like the first one better, so we are going to put There Are No Saints up against The American Roommate Experiment, which we already know who's going to win at that, but we'll wait. Then I put two of Penelope Douglas's books up here. I did read 3, but I don't know, I thought these... Venus! I put these two up against each other, Punk 57 and Credence. I didn't love either of these books, but I absolutely despised, hated this. This should be not even 1 star. It was disgusting. It's like, it involves like literal like incest basically. Not really, like not blood related incest, but like they're related. And she's having this affair thing with her like psychopathic cousin, her like fuckboy cousin, and then her uncle. Disgusting, literally so bad. I like skipped through like the second half because I was like, this is irredeemable. Hated that. That's definitely out. So we're stuck with Punk 57. Punk 57 was still like kind of weird, and the main guy character was like very toxic and like weird, and was like kind of obsessed with his sister in a strange way. So still like strange, but not as strange as Credence. So we are moving that to the next level. Then we start the Neon Gods Dark Olympus series, which I love. This is perhaps one of my favorite series. I really liked all the series that I read this year, which makes sense because like why would I continue a series if I didn't like it? But yes, this one was very good. We're up against Neon Gods and Electric Idol. I am easily going to say Neon Gods. I think this one, honestly, looking back on the 3, I think it had the most like the best plot and like character arc and like just like character development. Like I really liked Hades and Persephone a lot, and I liked their relationship. This one, like I didn't love just the plot, just like it, I don't know, it felt like very meh and forgettable. So Neon Gods, we're moving along. Then I put Wicked Beauty up against the Mindfuck series, and controversial opinion, didn't like the Mindfuck series. Did I read them all? Yes, but that's because like each book is like 90 pages, and I wanted to continue. I'm very bad at DNFing things, but I thought the writing was like bad in this. People love it, and I get why they love it because it's a fun like moral concept. She's had a rough upbringing, and she's exacting revenge on this town that kind of enabled her awful, horrible circumstance that she went through as a kid. And she's like killing people and exacting her revenge on this town, and it's very fun in that way and very like shocking. Shock value definitely in here. But I just don't think it was written well. The characters felt so two-dimensional and I couldn't picture like anything happening. So that's a no. Wicked Beauty. Loved. This is like a threesome, like a polyamorous relationship that goes on, and I had never read that, and yeah, it's so good. I don't know if it'll win against Neon Gods. We will see if they make it there, because I really liked both of these for different reasons, so we'll see. Hello, I'm back. You didn't know I even left, but the camera died, so back again, picking up where we left off. Also, while my camera was charging, I got some wine. So yeah, red wine. You can kind of see it. And we're gonna add a little drinky into this to really, you know, get the truth flowing on how I felt. Also, the irony of my parents watching the like college football playoff championship whatever game downstairs and me doing my book championship playoff upstairs. Anyway, so next, going against each other, I keep absolutely ripping this board apart trying to do this, but next we have The Deal and The Mistake. We all know this series. We all love it. I truly do. I really liked this series. Now, this is about to be the most controversial thing ever said on the internet. I'm picking The Mistake over The Deal. What? Okay, hear me out. The Mistake and one other book in the series were my favorite, and I don't know why. I think I just didn't really like Hannah as a character, and the plot was very predictable, which all of romances are predictable, and that should not be a, you know, factor of if the romance was good. But this one just felt like more interesting, and I don't know, I liked the main character, which is very controversial. I feel like everyone hated her. I don't even remember her name, but I liked their relationship better, and I loved Logan. So I think that was Logan in this. I think, yeah. I am so bad at remembering names. I remember like the feelings I get from the book, but not the names usually. So that is going there. This is difficult for me to do. Next we have the rest of the series. So now I can talk about these two. I feel like the popular choice for this series is either The Dare or The Score. But I loved The Goal. The Goal was so good to me. I knew from book one that I would love The Goal because I loved John Tucker. Was that him or was that John Logan? I think it was John Tucker. Yeah, I love John Tucker. John Tucker must not die in this series. See what I did there? But The Score, Dean, I never liked him. He never grew on me. Everybody's like, well, he really has character development in The Score, and I'm like, where? I did not see development. I guess, like, I don't know, like kind of there's character development, but I don't know. I just didn't love him, and I didn't love Allie. It's funny that I remember the names of the books where I didn't like them, and then I forgot the names of the people in the books that I did. And the story was just so much more layered, and it also had a very interesting flow because it takes place at the same time as the third book, so you get like a different perspective of those like same events, and I just really liked it. We move on to this silly little series. Oops. This is one of those Kindle Unlimited romance series that I started because, you know, I just wanted something that you know, is a little smutty, a little like brain dead, like didn't have to think at all while reading these, didn't retain much information from it, but had such a good time. Also, these I mainly listened to on audiobook because they were free audiobook on Kindle Unlimited, so I was like, let's go. And I really liked this series, not in like a like these are not going to make it far. The next round, they're getting kicked out, I already know, but they were so fun. So the first one in the series is The Stopover, and this is from the Miles High Club series. And then the next is The Takeover. In The Stopover, then the main guy, I don't remember anybody's name except for I think Claire was in this, but I don't really remember names. So the guy in this meets the girl on a plane, and then they have a stopover where they spend the night together. And then fast forward a few years, she becomes his employee. And he doesn't know, like he didn't hire her, I think. Or maybe he did know, I don't quite remember that part. But she is now working for his family business. And as like, they run like a news media site. The Stopover, I didn't love because I didn't like the guy character. He was just like, he was older than her, which I don't really mind. I kind of like that a lot of the times. But he just was like a little too aggressive and too like patriarchal, yeah, for me, for my tastes. So that's a no. Venus, please. Yes. And then in The Takeover, that involves, I believe this is the one with Claire, who is like a single mom and she has a few kids. And then it's Tristan, maybe, who is another partner at the firm. And this one, he's the younger guy and she's the older woman. And I really liked their relationship. They were very cute together. So that one wins that round. Next we have The Casanova, which is the third in the series. And I honestly, what did this one follow? This follows a guy who loves art, and the main girl is like his, not assistant, but she works for him, but she's like a PR girl. I think that was what it was. And then we have One Day in December, which if you've watched some of my previous videos, you know that I hated this so much. This was probably my least favorite out of the Miles High Club series, except for it has a crazy twist, and that was really cool because that like rarely happens in romances where I'm surprised. But yeah, this is hands down worse than this. I could not stand this book. I don't know why I finished it. It was really not worth me finishing it. It involves cheating, which I usually don't really care about. Like, I don't get that offended by it. But these characters also just sucked. So then they were like cheating on top of that. And I was like, I can't get behind this. Like, romances for me are so much about the characters because the plot is so laid out. But that's how I really gauge if I like loved the book, was if the characters were cool and if they worked well together. So The Casanova is moving on. We have two holiday romances. I read a lot of holiday romances this year, so these are two. We have Merry Little Meet Cute, which is about a adult film star who changes career paths, and she starts acting on this movie that's like a Hallmark kind of movie. And then the guy in it is a former boy band member who she has a crush on, and he has a crush on her because he knows her from her adult film works. And it's very much a Merry Little Meet Cute, and I really liked this one, but I did feel like it went on a little too long. It was like, I think it was closer to 400 pages. and that's just too long for a romance. Then, on the kind of opposite end of the spectrum is 'Tis the Season for Revenge, and this one was quite short. It was a Kindle Unlimited book that I then bought the physical copy for because I really liked it. It was kind of a Legally Blonde retelling. Her ex dumps her when he becomes, or thinks he's gonna become, a partner at a law firm, and she, instead of getting revenge by going to law school like Elle Woods does, she swipes right on a dating app on his boss and then starts dating him. And I really liked this. I liked her and I liked their relationship, her and the guy's boss. And the guy was like, great book boyfriend. And yeah, really good time. Probably one of my favorite like Christmas holiday romance reads. Enjoyed. Yay. So we have our next lineup. Take a look. Do you have any predictions for who will win? The suspense, I know. Let's start with the next two. We have, all right, we know what's gonna happen here. We know. Goodbye, The American Roommate Experiment. It's gotta go. We all saw that coming. So there are no saints moves on. The most like dark romancy book on this list probably. Then we have Punk. Again, like this round, like I'm really just like narrowing it down easily because like Punk 57 and Neon Gods, like goodbye Punk 57. Then, okay, this is a bit of a hard decision. Wicked Beauty and The Mistake. Oh, these are hard because they're both like sequels. I'm gonna have another sip of wine and maybe that will bring some clarity to me. I'm gonna go with Wicked Beauty. Because it was very unique and I don't know. I liked the spicy scenes better. Then we have The Goal and The Takeover. The Goal, obviously. This was my favorite in the series, and yeah, that's it. Then, lastly, this is also gonna be an easy one since I didn't love this one in the series. If it was The Takeover, it might have like been a bit harder, but I definitely liked 'Tis the Season for Revenge much more than this. All right, now we're going fast, which is good because I have another like 19 that I have to get through after this. So now we have, this is difficult. There Are No Saints and Neon Gods. This is very difficult because I liked both of these a lot, like probably equal on the spice meter. Like I enjoyed both of the characters and the character dynamics and like the relationships, but I'm gonna say There Are No Saints because it was my like introduction really to spicy romance and dark romance, and it just holds this weirdly special place in my heart because of that. I also just like Sophie Lark's writing is so good. Like it just draws you in. That's definitely in 2023 I want to read another one of her series because she just, yeah. Also, this one had a playlist, and any book with a playlist attached I automatically love because it just brings like all the emotions really out, you know? Have Wicked Beauty. Okay, this is where it's difficult. I didn't know what to do because it's like an uneven number. Okay, I already know that these two I like better than the holiday romance 'Tis the Season for Revenge, just because they had more interesting plots. The Goal and Wicked Beauty. I'm gonna say The Goal. I connected with the characters more and I enjoyed their relationship and dynamic more. So we are down to the goal. I don't know why I put that back on because we're about to take it off, but you know the visuals. The goal, and there are no saints. And we'll just like move you down a little so that you can see the bottom of the board. That W is right there for the winner, if you didn't catch on to that. Between there are no saints and the goal. There are no saints being the dark romance smutty pick that no one expected to get this far. And the goal being a very popular, very good series, but probably one of the less popular books within the series. So this video is really teaching you that like my taste is kind of weird, I guess. But we're gonna say there are no saints. The winner of the first round is a dark romance about serial killers. Okay. That's concerning, but here we are. Okay, we have our next 20, our next 20 contenders. I was able to put There Are No Saints on the board, so whoever wins this will be our ultimate winner. So let's begin. First, going up for the big one, Season for Second Chances and The Heart Principle. I really love Jenny Baylis's writing, but this book kind of fell short. 12 Days of Christmas I loved, very atmospheric. This one didn't love as much. The characters weren't very memorable to me. It also involves like a middle-aged couple, which love the representation, but I'm not gonna be like as, I don't know, interested in that, I guess, because it's not me. And The Heart Principle, I have raved about this in previous videos. I loved this one so much. I loved Quan. I loved him since the first book, The Kiss Quotient, and was just waiting for his time to shine, and boy did he shine. So that is going there. Then I tried to pair some of these up if they were from the same author. So these two are from Christina Lauren, and they are the Unhoneymooners and The Soulmate Equation. Every time my voice is weird, I'm gonna drink. Between these two, dun dun dun. I didn't love either of these. The Soulmate Equation did not like at the beginning. It literally took me like half the year to finish because I put it down and then I just did not pick it back up. And then the Unhoneymooners, I finished quickly, but I think it was because I like took it on a trip and I had nothing else to read. So that was why. And I struggled throughout it. Did not love the main guy. Didn't really love like the story. Just was not all that into it. The Soulmate Equation, didn't love it at first. Then something happened like halfway through and I was obsessed. I was obsessed with the characters, obsessed with the guy, obsessed with their relationship. I don't know what happened, but like literally within a chapter I was hooked. So this definitely wins. Then I have two fall time books. We have The Kiss Curse, which is the follow-up book in the Ex-Hex series, and then Accidentally Amy, which is a novella that was short, sweet. It was on Kindle Unlimited, and yeah, this really like gave me a taste of Lynn Painter's writing, and I very much liked it. She's a very funny, witty writer, and I'm excited to read her longer books. But I think this one, it was short. It did what it was supposed to do. It didn't go like above and beyond, but I think she knew that. I feel like there's low expectations with this, and it definitely exceeded those expectations, but still not compared to The Kiss Curse. I freaking loved this so much, and you would not expect it. Because the first book in the Ex-Hex series, which I think is called the Ex-Hex, I don't remember, did not love. The girl in it, nah. The guy in it, even more meh. The plot, I didn't know where it was going. I didn't think the author knew. And then the sequel blew me away. I loved the plot. Definitely made more sense than the first one. And the atmosphere in both this one and the Ex-Hex is brilliant. It is very like Halloween Town, and yeah, amazing, amazing book. Then I have The Dead Romantics and Love in the Time of Serial Killers. We're really on to the fall themed books now. And The Dead Romantics, this is like a solid 3-star. I liked the plot. It was very different from a typical romance plot, which is always fun. But I didn't connect with the characters at all. Didn't like love their relationship, I guess. And just like the main girl really annoyed me. It also had a lot of puns and that kind of humor that's like funny, that I don't really vibe with. Meanwhile, this one had a lot of humor that I did vibe with. She's writing her PhD on like crime fiction, and specifically In Cold Blood, which is one of my favorite books. And so I really sound like, I literally sound like a serial killer right now, because I'm saying that I loved this and that I love In Cold Blood, and then my winner from the first round was a dark romance about a serial killer. I need to get that like sorted out. The writing in this was kind of bleh. So then I'm like, I feel like this one is overall the better one. So I'm gonna pick this, because it was very interesting. I just did not vibe with the characters. Then we have 2 books that I read in the summer and have very summery plots. My Killer Vacation and Every Summer After. Just based on how I said that, you know that I'm gonna pick this, and I am. Every Summer After, it made me cry, it made me laugh, it made me like have all the little like happy feels, and just was an amazing time. And this is a debut, and I don't know how, because the writing was amazing. It felt like the same kind of comforting vibes that I get from what is that, The Summer I Turned Pretty, which people have made that reference, so I'm not like unique in that assertion, but that's definitely what it felt like. And yeah, I really liked this. My Killer Vacation, I read this on a cruise that I went on this summer, and you should not read this book in public. Tessa Bailey, people love her, but I don't think it's for her writing. I don't think her books are very well written. The characters feel very like one-dimensional and the same, and the plot is always like, does not make sense. But her spicy scenes are next level. I'm not very flustered usually reading a smutty book in public, but this one, I was like literally like, I need to go to my cabin. And yeah, but that doesn't make like a good book. Like it's fun, but nowhere near one of my like top favorite romances of this year. So Every Summer After. Then we have Funny You Should Ask and Angelica Frankenstein Makes Her Match. And this one was a very like unpopular one in the generic view. A lot of people didn't like this. I loved it. I thought it was so fun to read, so funny. The girl's a journalist, she used to be a writing student. It has that. And I also just, I don't know, I liked the writing, and I liked the characters, not really together, but I liked them individually, and it was a good time to me. This one was a bit rough to get through. It was quite repetitive, I found. I did like the main girl, Angelica. Angelica was very obsessed with the guy because she literally creates him like Frankenstein, and I thought that was cool because she's like obsessed with him and he doesn't care about her, and I feel like that doesn't happen a lot in books. It's usually the guy that's obsessed, so I liked that little aspect. It was different, but this book went on a little too long, and I don't know if that was just because it was long or if I just got bored halfway through, but wasn't my favorite. So, funny you should ask. Next, 2 December holiday kind of vibes, wintry books. We have The Mistletoe Motive and Baggage Claim. This one follows Olive. Every girl in a romance book is named Olive, and she lives in Florida, but she's going back home for Christmas. She meets this guy on the plane, Finn, and they, you know, strike up a conversation, but she's like, I don't trust guys, I don't care, no. And he's like, let me be your fake boyfriend. So then they have this fake dating thing, and they're very cute together. Finn does absolutely drop the bag, drop the ball, fumble the bag, fumble the ball, fumble the bag. I'm gonna say fumble the bag. He fumbles it at the end, and he really lost points for me there because he made a situation that was way more her into like a problem that involved him when it didn't. But loved this. Like, the fact that I'm talking this much about it means that I liked it. Then we have The Mistletoe Motive, which I also loved. This one has a playlist to go along with it, so like perfect. The main character in this was so sweet. The guy was kind of just like a generic man. Both of them kind of were, like, they didn't really have special qualities about them, but it was still cute. This was a novella, so it was a bit shorter. This is really hard. I'm gonna say The Mistletoe Motive, and that's probably because the playlist is like forcing me to say that because I can't resist a book with a playlist. But yes, we're putting that there. Then we have The Fine Print and Birthday Girl. So, I weirdly liked Birthday Girl. Like I've said, I don't mind an age gap romance. Sometimes I like it because the guy is like very mature and very like respectful and nice towards the girl, because they're like, that's what happens in an age gap, and I'm like, not necessarily, but liked this. And Pike, I think that was his name. Good book, boyfriend. The Fine Print, I remember I didn't love the characters together that much. I liked them individually, but did not think they were very good together. And this book overall, like, I enjoyed it, but I think I overestimated how much I enjoyed it based on other people raving about it and me going like, oh yeah, I guess it was, yeah, 5-star. When I don't think I really felt that way, but I still liked it. And then B, because the cover is so cute, like, I don't know, I just wanted to like it enough to buy the physical copy. So this obviously wins, which is kind of embarrassing because I feel like this is a kind of hated book. I don't know. And yeah, still good though. Like, I'm gonna continue the series whenever I get around to it, but I'm not in a rush to continue it. We have Regretting You, more like regretting this book. I've made that joke already and it's bad every time. And then we have Layla. I can already tell you Layla wins this. Regretting You was one of the worst books I read this year. The plot was so boring and so it like went nowhere. And I was like, is there gonna be like any twist, any like fun little thing to keep me intrigued? No. I switched over to the audiobook like partway through, and that's when you know I don't like a book, is when I switch over to the audiobook. Sometimes I'll start a book with the intention to do like part audio, part book. But when I switch over to the audiobook and put it in 2 times speed, that's when you know I don't like the book and I just want to get it done with. Which I need to stop doing. I need to start DNFing. But yeah, Regretting You, boring plot. It's like a mother and a daughter, and the dad dies, and like there's an affair that they find out about, and I don't even want to explain it because like you just shouldn't read it. It's bad. Layla, on the other hand, I enjoyed. Surprise, surprise. And that's because I think the thriller elements I liked. Like, I don't know if I'm just bad at guessing twists, but I did not expect what happened. I did not see the twist early on, so that was fun for me. And I liked the characters, and it's a book that like stuck in my head. So this gets the approval from me. And I want to read Verity because it is more of a thriller, so I'm thinking maybe I like Colleen Hoover's thriller books with like a little bit of romance in there, but I don't like her romance books. We have Set on You, which is like a gym romance. She's like a plus-sized fitness influencer, and he's a guy at the gym and they get in a relationship. This is a debut novel, so it's like, it's kind of rough. Because it's a debut, it's very, very predictable, and it's funny, like sometimes you read a debut and it's like it has so many similar scenes to other books because that's like what's, you know, front of mind when they're writing their first book. And that was kind of annoying because it was like so predictable in the plot. But I think her writing's good. I'm excited to see like what she comes up with in the future. But yeah, obviously from that description, I'm going to pick There Are No Saints over this. The final 10. One of these will win. Do you have thoughts? I kind of already have a thought of what I think is gonna win, but let's trust the process. The Heart Principle and The Soulmate Equation. I loved this book all the way throughout, and I only liked half of this. This one wins. Then I have The Kiss Curse and The Dead Romantics. Obviously The Kiss Curse. I raved about this. And that one I was like, meh. Every Summer After and Funny You Should Ask. Gotta go with it. I gotta go with this. This was like a top tier romance. Like I haven't read a romance like this. And this one I really liked though, but yeah. Then we have Birthday Girl, which I don't know how she made it this far, but she is here. And The Mistletoe Motive. And what I mean by I don't know how she made it this far, I liked this book, but I don't know how a Penelope Douglas book made it this far because I have really not liked her other books. But here we are, and I'm gonna say it. I think I liked it better than this one. So there's that. But this was like a novella, and it was a holiday, so it was like very fluffy. And I still highly recommend it if you want a holiday romance. Layla and There Are No Saints. These are kind of funny that they're together because they're both a bit of thriller meets romance. This is actually hard because I remember more of this, but I remember the feelings I had and just like the way that this just like opened my mind to a whole new genre. But I did really like this. I'm gonna go with There Are No Saints. There Are No Saints. Both of these are kind of like taboo romances, so they're kind of easy to compare. But I overall just really like Sophie Lark's writing way more than Penelope Douglas, so that. This is so hard because these are literally like two of my favorite books, obviously, because we're like down to this. I really liked both of these. Oh, this is so hard. Let me just, first of all, The Heart Principle, I'm sorry, girly, I really loved you, but not as much as these two. So let's just get her out of the way. Okay, let's just hold up all three. This board is like not doing its purpose anymore. I really loved all of these. Okay, I'm gonna put down There Are No Saints. I think I'm holding on to it out of sentimental value of it being one of the first smutty romances that I read. This is really hard. These are both like very atmospheric books. Like this was very summer in a book, and this was very Halloween in a book. And I loved both of the characters and relationships in them, but I think this one had more depth and just like overall was the winner. The winner, ladies and gentlemen, her. Ah! Yeah, I predicted that from the like, when the 10 of them were lined up. I was like, I know this one is gonna win, like hands down. So, yay! Best book of 2022, best romance read of 2022. So good. Highly recommend. Yeah, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and the masterpiece I created back here. And yeah, if you liked this, then like the video and subscribe and that stuff. And I will see you soon with a best thriller read of the year. That's the next video that I'm going to do. So stay tuned for that, and let me know if you read any of these and if you liked any of them. Let me know if you don't agree with my opinions or if you do, and let's talk about it. Okay. Goodbye.